Howdy, friends. Glad that y'all would come to connect tonight as we unpack the sermon. This morning we looked at God's plan for our life. Knowing that He has a plan, there is a wonderful promise in that. But trying to figure out that plan, understanding that plan, so many times we think that God is going to give to us on a sheet of paper, maybe a phone call or a text message, I want you to do A, B, C, D, E. And friends, that's just not the way it works. It would be so much easier if God would send us a memo tab every single morning and say, this is what I want you to do today. This is my plan for you. But what we've got to understand is that God's plan for us involves peace. Jesus Christ is the instrument of that peace. He does have a future for us. When we look at the text today, we see that God made a specific promise to the nation of Israel that He was going to restore them out of their captivity and that He would bring them back, that He had a future for His people. And even now, in the strangeness of all the world that we face, where Christians are kind of mocked and ridiculed, people say that the United States is no longer a Christian nation. We are no longer one nation under God. And people get really upset by that. But you can kind of see that the nation has turned its back on God. We as believers have allowed that to happen. But the promise of God is that He does have a future for us. And while we face that future, we need to understand that God has also given us a very real hope. And in that hope, we are commanded to stay firm in it. Friends, if we don't embrace the hope that we have in Jesus Christ and look towards the future and have a peace going through what we're going through right now, how is the world ever going to want what we have? The old song, "It Is Well With My Soul," it begins with, when peace like a river. My peace like a river. I remember the first time that I went rafting on the Ocoee. We got there, we're ready to go rafting. I looked around and I said, hey, this ain't so bad. And the guide said, just wait. I remember getting on that river and there were parts that were so rough, you just held on for dear life. But when the ride was over, again, peace and still. It is amazing that in a river it can be peace and calm and tranquil. And then that same body of water, when it moves along, it can be so powerful and so destructive. But we're never going to know what is at the end of the river unless we're willing to take the ride. And so, friends, I want you to know that God has a plan for us, and it's a great plan. So tonight as you unpack, talk about how God gives you peace in the midst of storms. Talk about how you look to what God has for us in the future and how you are able to depend on Him. How are you able to rely on the hope that we have in Christ? I hope that you will encourage one another tonight. And as you do so, it will enable you to go out into our community and continue to encourage others also. Hope you have a great time of discussion tonight. I love you. Can't wait to see you again real soon.